So, to me, the biggest trends I see in KubeCon is one is really the maturity of vendors. I mean, when we were setting up the booth, I was just amazed by, how many vendors there are, how many different ways you can get support for your Kubernetes clusters. I mean, there's backup, storage, security. I mean, you can see that all the trends really manifest in the vendor showcase, and you can also see that same maturity extend out in the practitioners as well. So right now, compared to 2, 3 years ago, there's really no shortage of solutions. If you're trying to get started with Kubernetes as an enterprise, you can be speaking to anywhere from 2 to 3 different types of vendors just for a logging or a backup solution, right? So I think the maturity is there. And I think the trend that we're slowly gravitating towards as a market is about, now that we know we have all these different solutions, right? It's about, if you're an enterprise, how do you pick the right solutions that work for you? And how do you form a workflow through there, right? So for HashiCorp in particular, there's a very central principle that we focus on, which is workflows and not technologies. So with HashiCorp, there's a very intentional emphasis on not getting wrapped up too much into buzzwords or trends, but more so, what are the underlying humans on top of, at the end of the day, after all this code and all these cool tools and solutions and trends, what are they really trying to accomplish with that workflow? And I think it's, the same central thing is like, how do you make developers successful deploying on these complicated systems, right? Kubernetes has certainly gotten easier over time, but it's still not quite, a walk in the park, that we would all like it to be, right? So I think we see a lot of tremendous progress there. And I still think we're still trying to find that balance right now between, vendor-driven solution and also practitioner-driven solutions. Kubernetes is a fantastic open source community. And then at the same time, it's like, well, what is the workflow we're trying to achieve? And I think slowly but surely, with all the different vendors coming in the space, we're seeing parts of that workflow really become visible to practitioners. So if you're, an old, banking company that's dealing with mainframe, hundreds of different tech stacks, or if you're a new startup, right, that, you have only 2 to 3 developers, but you're blazing fast, you're containerizing, you're writing microservices, you're starting to see that there are solutions emerge, commercial solutions emerge that will slowly give you that vision for how you want to progress your infrastructure forward.